Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. On a few occasions, I heard the foreign minister of the Russian Federation complaining that United States of America conducts I can't remember if this was the word he used, tabloid diplomacy or media sensational diplomacy, referring to the fact that when he had some contacts with his counterparts from United States of America, that got leaked somehow into the media, and the media came and gave their side of the story. And he said, well, there are certain things that should remain outside of the public debate about, the people should not know about it. The media should not know about it because we are in the process of negotiation. So why in the process you destroy the whole negotiation if you bring it up? Because the public opinion will supposedly put pressure on the diplomats and the negotiations will stall. So that's what he said on a few occasions. And it seems like the Russians now, they are engaging in this one. But what am I talking about? The chief spy of the Russian intelligence, he had phone conversations with the CIA chief, director of the CIA, to discuss what to do with Ukraine. Now, if that's not a big development, I don't know what it is. Remember, CIA, who I think is kind of its own boss here, it's part of the, you call it marsh. You don't call it swamp, you call it marsh. Kind of like a synonym almost. When I learned English, they said that marsh and swamp are two different things. One has trees and the other one doesn't have trees. So I don't know which one is which. Swamp has trees or the marsh has trees. I think the swamp has trees. Anyway, this guy's in the swamp, CIA, FBI, military industrial complex, and media and some politicians, that's all. And they, obviously the big, how do you call those guys? The elites, so-called, the people with fear. All right. So if this indeed occurred behind the scenes, now that's, I think it's a in the butt of Ukraine, and the Western nations will be like, so you are communicating? Didn't I say that on so many occasions, that these guys are communicating big time behind the scenes? Why? Because to me it seems like this is a controlled fight in Ukraine. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you do this. We're not going to do this. We're going to do this. What do you mean you can't? It's all war or it's not all war? No. We're going to give you this, but you can't hit over there. Why not? Because in the back they said, if you guys send them that, we're going to do this. Okay, now you can send them. I think they talk a lot. So let's see. I have two articles here with the same subject, but I'm going to use it just to show diversity, which is actually the same distributed on two names, like the Democrats and the Republicans. Behind are the same interests, but we have, hey, they're fighting, there are two different opinions. No, that's only one coming from the same source. Anyway, here you have it. Reuters today, July 12, 2023. Russian spy chief says he spoke to CIA boss about, and I'm quoting, what to do with Ukraine. Can you believe that? Oh my. But I can believe it because I think that's the exact thing what happens is between the two entities, not Ukraine. Ukraine is just the territory where these guys are meeting to fight, a control fight. Russian Foreign Intelligence Chief Sergei Narishkin said on Wednesday that he and the CIA counterpart William Burns had discussed, and I'm quoting, what to do with Ukraine, end quote, in a phone call late last month, Russia TASS news agency said. The New York Times and Wall Street Journal reported on June 30th that Burns had called Narishkin to assure the Kremlin that the United States had no role in a brief mutiny a week earlier by Russian mercenary boss Yevgeny Prigozhin and his Wagner fighters. I don't think you call him after a week. But anyway, Narishkin confirmed that Burns has raised, and I'm quoting, the events of June 24th, when the mercenaries took control of a southern Russian city and advanced towards Moscow before reaching a deal with the Kremlin to end the revolt. All this is blown up of proportion, this little long sentence or paragraph, way blown out of proportion. But they took over a city and they were marching towards Moscow. Really? Wow, how many people? 9,000, 2,000, 1,000 with what? Anyway, in the city. Yeah, all right. But he said that for most of the call, lasting about an hour, and I'm quoting, we considered and discussed what to do with Ukraine. Wow, no comment was immediately available from the CIA. And this is one, and the other one is Ukrainska Pravda, so you gotta believe it, because it comes from the Ukrainska Pravda. And the headline reads, a Russian intelligence chief says he discussed, and I'm quoting, what to do with Ukraine, end quote, with CIA chief. All right, let's see how these guys look at it. So the same thing here, quote, yes, indeed, the conversation took place at the end of last month. The reason for the phone call, as I see it, was the events of 24th of June. It is clear how I answered this question about what happened. It seems to me that it was more of a pretext because the main part of the conversation was focused on discussing the topic and events around Ukraine. We were discussing what to do with Ukraine. So he says, the Russian Sergei, thinks that William called him as a pretext, supposedly, to what happened, Actually, they spoke this right here, not the whole thing, but anyway, right here. What to do in Ukraine. Details, according to Narishkin, the conversation with the CIA director lasted about an hour. I think you don't need an hour to discuss what happened over there with those guys, but maybe you do. Narishkin also added that the possibility of a personal meeting with the CIA chief remained. All right, so they're going to meet now and they're going to play some tennis or something. Now there's Wimbledon in this play. Djokovic will win. And then the other guys are going to be all crying. Yeah, history in the making. Yay! Aren't you happy? Oh, it's the wrong person making history? Got it. Oh, he's from Serbia. Celebration! Anyway, my friends, here it is. Those guys were communicating, will communicate, and they communicated during the Cold War. The Soviets, the Communists, and the Americans, they were doing business behind the scene and so on. It was not like they portrayed, yes, they were the empire of evil, we're gonna do this. BS. They were making a lot of deals behind what to do here. They kept it under control. And obviously here they didn't let Zelensky being the one who determines, and he's just a clown over there, has to do his part, and that's it. But the big dogs are determining what's going on. No surprising here. And I didn't hear in this article anything talking about Burns, saying, hey, you know what, that's awful. If that happens, it's terrible. What do you mean? It's a stab in the back. There's none of your business. I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't even hear as a what if it's true what Sergei said. Not even that scenario. Why? Are you gonna challenge the guys that feed you? Really? That's what it is. What are they gonna do? Probably say we're gonna do this. How we're gonna do this? Okay, see you next time. Let's. This is like discussing a little update on each side. They say we're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna do this. See you next time. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.